Right. Any doubt, any issues? इसमें थोड़ी right, any issues, doubts? In Samkhya, we have like Prakriti and Purush. Their own description. You have separate question on the proof for the existence of Prakriti, Purush, and you have also separate question on the doctrine of plurality of Purush. Right? Don't miss criticism. You have to write in every question criticism. Then we had also discussed Sarga, that is theory of creation. That is, you can have the same question as the examine the role played by the realities, that is Prakriti and Purush. Then we had discussed the most important issue with respect to this school, that is this dualism consistent? Is it a consistent theory? Right, so we have seen number of the arguments that it is not consistent. The major flaw or the weakness or the criticism is that their acceptance of two ultimate realities. We had already discussed as a basic rule that whoever philosopher who does not accept one ultimate reality, either accept more than one, two or more than two, or none, they will become instantly inconsistent and consequently will have number of criticism, as it had happened here in Samkhya. Right? Apart from the basic flaw or criticism in Prakriti and Purusha, overall criticism is that we had seen that there cannot be real contact. Real contact is not possible. Why? Because both are independent and having fundamentally opposite nature. One is matter, other is consciousness. Matter and consciousness, how they can come into contact. Then we see the theory of proximity of contact. This also had certain problems. Then we had seen theory of semblance of contact. Within this theory of semblance of contact, we see first they say that Purusha get reflected in Mahata. But then we had seriously objected that how it could be possible, Mahat, because Mahat is the first product after the disturbance. And then we have, they say that it is reflected in Prakriti itself. And hence, number of problems or blunders or inconsistencies have arisen. Number of problems have arisen into that. Is that fine? So, we say that this school is inconsistent. If they would have accepted one absolute reality, that is, Purusha as the supreme and Prakriti has been considered as ignorance, as later on we will be seeing, Shankaracharya would be doing same thing. And what we had seen that Prakriti receives the reflection of Purusha, then they don't have Prakriti Parinamvad. Then their theory of causation becomes Prakriti Vivartvad. And this is where Shankaracharya will prove that it is only Vivart. There is no real. They are right. Sankhyans are right. But the only problem they had committed is that they accepted a Purusha as infinite, transcendental Purusha. The ultimate Purusha is itself of many, plural, and that has resulted into such a big problem. So herein their slight rectification would be done by Vedantists and we will see that he would be giving us a consistent system. Right? Overall, this Sankhian dualism is inconsistent. Yeah. क्या चाहिए सिस्टम चाहिए, इसका क्या करोगे? ऑफ तो मैंने करा यार. वो देखो चल जाए तब से ना, अदरवाइज रहने दें. Right, so inconsistent system. We had also seen its bondage and liberation. That is, question is self, bondage and liberation, right? If this question comes, then first of all you need to define what is self. So what is self in their school? Purusha. So brief discussion on this Purusha. But this Purusha is Nityamukta, eternally free. Then why and how it comes in bondage? Wrongly identification. Isn't it? Wrongly identification of its reflection in the Mahat. हम अब महत ही बोलेंगे. जो भी हमने राइट अप में लिख रखा है, we will follow that only. What we have discussed the real contact, right? Don't get confused with this. This part will come only in the critical analysis. Apart from this, whenever we will discuss their theory, we will refer real contact, right? And we will say that Purusha get reflected where? In Mahata. We will not get into this problem. This will come only in the critical analysis. Otherwise, you will be trapped. And it will be like something, your answer would be mixed up. You will get lost into your answer. So don't get confused, right? So, Purusha wrongly identifies itself with its reflection in Mahata, right? And it considers that it is me, and Ahankar comes. And now this is in proper bondage. It is the phenomenal ego, that is empirical ego, that is trapped into the cycle of right? And moment it comes into the cycle of birth and death, then all pain, suffering, sorrows, miseries, and all that stuff will automatically come. And hence, this is now in proper bondage. This is what the bondage is. Cycle of birth and death. This school believes in the transmigration. Buddha was not believing in transmigration, because in Buddhism there was no permanent soul. And transmigration means from one birth to another there is one entity which is being transferred. Jainism are also believing in transmigration. All other schools will believe in that. So this is also believing in. Isn't it? That soul is trapped into cycle of birth and death, and this is how transmigration occurs. The concept we had already discussed a number of times. Same concept is here. So, now they seek liberation. And liberation means cessation of all kinds of pain. Isn't it? And pain, according to them, is broadly of how many types? 3 types. That is Adhyatmik. Then second is Adi Bhautik. It is Adi Bhautik. And the third is Adi Devik. So, Sankhian school stands for the complete cessation of pain, suffering and misery. Isn't it? For this, they need to find out what is the root cause. of the bondage or the root cause of pain. And root cause of pain or bondage or cycle of birth and death is obviously ignorance. And ignorance will be removed according to them, not by karma. Because karmas will lead you to fruits. If you do good karma, so that will land you up in the heaven. But heaven is subjected to bliss. Heaven is subjected to pleasure. And according to them, pleasure is associated with the pain. Means even in heaven, they are saying that there will be pain. So worldly happiness and heavenly happiness, they have equated. I think they have committed one again blunder. Because this worldly happiness is relative. But heavenly and the liberated that happiness is obviously cannot be relative. That is a transcendental. But they have forgotten again very simple factor. Bad karma will lead you to hell, and hell is subjected to all kinds of pain and suffering. So karmas will not lead you to the liberation. Then what you need to do, for the right knowledge, you need to what? Reason out. You have to reason that this reflection is not me. This prakriti is not me. That wrongly identification, this self is not mine. Ego is unreal. Somewhat in a way they are saying that you have to somewhat meditate on that. Constant reasoning on this factor will give you discriminative knowledge. And moment Moon has the knowledge, he will immediately say that it is not me. So with the rise and the fall of the waves, he stops moving. Isn't it? Now Moon is that this reflection is not me. And hence I get liberated from the cycle of birth and death. Though I was already liberated, I was Nityamukta. Is that fine? This school believes in two types of liberation, that is Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti. Means in this very life I can have the right knowledge. In this very life I can have discriminative knowledge. Right? But still I continue to live in this body. Why? Though I have become Jivan Mukta, but still I am living with this body. I have to suffer. Why I suffer?
Momentum of the
because of the momentum, because of the past momentum given to this life, and that past momentum is given by what? Karma. It is again you can give that explanation of that potter and his wheel, isn't it? Last part is there and he gives a very strong momentum. He gives finishing touch, picks up last part, keeps it, goes away and get into his home. But that wheel continues to move. That continues to rotate because of that past momentum. In the same way, the past momentum given by those adrast karma, that is prarabdha karma. Right? That is the prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma means those accumulated karmas. Right? That bag still has certain fruits, and as long as fruits are in that bag, I will continue to exist in this life with this body, and after my death, when my last fruit is exhausted, then I will leave this body also. And this is where it has Videha. So they believe in Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti. Buddhism also believes in two types of nirvana. Which were those two types of nirvana? Sopadishesh and Anupadishesh. And Jainas had also believed there were two types of Kevalya, that were Sayogi and Ayogi. Only terminologies are differing. Right? We will come across with one school who will believe only in Videha Mukti. He won't believe in Jivan Mukti.
And when it comes, we will see. True.
Now Sankhyan,
That's fine. They have laid down, they talked about the liberation.
what
They have given very theoretical path regarding the path for liberation. And here they again are not much elaborative. And that part is left to another school, that is Yoga school. Is that fine? So this is how we have Sankhya. Let us have few points and then I'll move to Yoga school. Just give heading bondage and liberation.
Purushes Nitya Mukta. Purushes Nitya Mukta. That is, it is beyond space and time, merit and demerit, bondage and liberation. Next point. It is the ego. It is
The ego, that is Sobadik Purusha, that is the Sobadik Purush, which is bound. Next point. Bondage is due to ignorance or non-discrimination between the self and the non-self.
next point. According to Samkhya,
earthly life is full of three types of pain. Earthly life is full of three types of pain. These are Adhyatmic, second is Adibhatik, third is Adhidavik. Next point. Whenever there are gunas, there are pain. Even the so-called pleasure leads to pain. Even the heavenly life is subjected to the guna and hence pain. Next point. Thus, according to them, liberation means complete cessation of all suffering.
complete cessation of all
Suffering. Write in bracket, Apvarga. Their liberation is known as Kevalya as well as Apvarga also.
next point.
Liberation cannot be attained. Liberation cannot be attained by means of action.
by means of action.
It is the only knowledge. It is the only knowledge which leads to liberation. Next point. For discriminative knowledge, according to them, one should use the path of reasoning. That is, one should constantly meditate on, right in bracket, nothing is mine. Again, right in quote, ego is unreal. Next point. Samkhya admits both Jivan Mukti
And
Videha Mukti.
accepts both
Jivan
Jivan
Mukti and Videha Mukti. Next point. Samkhya liberation is a state of complete isolation. Samkhya liberation is a state of complete isolation. Freedom from all pain. That is a return of the Purusha
to its pure nature. Return
of the Purush to its pure nature. In that state, there is no pleasure, happiness, or bliss. However, such conception of liberation is highly criticized. Right, so let us move to next school.
Sir?
Yeah.
So Videha Mukti and Jivan Mukti, main difference is?
Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti, I think you missed some initial classes. Alright. Once I get liberation in this very life, is Jivan mein hi, if I get right knowledge, like Buddha attained, like Mahavir attained. Right? So now, whatever action I will be doing right now, those actions will not lead to further accumulation of fruits. Right? Because I have the right knowledge. It is a kind that all my actions will be like Nishkam Karma. Isn't it? But because of my past karma of this life and previous life, those actions had fruits that are still lying. Right? So those fruits I have to eat them also. For those fruits I have to stay with this body.
क्योंकि वो मेरे कर्म
फल है.
मेरे बजाय तो दूसरा नहीं खा सकता. Isn't it?
So I have the right knowledge, but still I am suffering in this. To live in this world is suffering. It is only because of the past accumulation. Moment these fruits get exhausted, then there is no reason for me to stay in this world even for a second. because to stay in this world even for a second is due to my fruits. Because we in this world are reaping fruits of our action. Isn't it? It's all result. My body, my mind, my thoughts, my structure, my family, my happiness, my pleasure, my relations, my status, my disease, my healthy body, all things. Even I have thoughts, even I have bad dreams. Isn't it? Even I have good dreams. That is all because of my past sanskara. Isn't it? As long as those sanskaras are there, I will be in this world. Moment they are exhausted, then I will leave this world. And in the next round of creation, I won't come again. I won't descend down to this mundane life. Because coming here is only reaping the fruits. Since I don't have any kind of fruit, so why should I come? I will not come. Is that fine? So Jivan Mukta and Videha Mukta. Let us have first questions of Sankhya and then I move to Yoga. Page number 21. Please open question back. Page number 21. This year question. You can write somewhere 2015 and this is 15 marker. State and examine the Sankhyan proofs for the existence of Purusha. For the existence of Purusha. State and examine the Sankhyan proofs for the existence of Purusha. I think this is a direct question. First, define what is Purusha. Right? Purusha is independent, absolute, ultimate, conscious or intelligent. Many, however, it is inactive, necessary gunne, udasin, trigunati. Try to use more and more terminology. Indian factual on the whole is, Indian philosophy is, on the whole is factual. So use those terminologies. Right? Briefly describe Purush and then give proofs for the existence of Purusha. How many proofs? 5. These are teleological, logical, ontological, ethical and mystical or religious. Also give proofs for the plurality of Purusha, because Purushas are many and many Purushas are also existing, of course, and for them also they have given proof. And we have some 3 standard proof: bondage, liberation, birth and death, activity, qualitative alike and quantitatively differ. Those 3 arguments will come. And then what? Criticism will come. Now, see question number 1 now. Examine the Sankhyan view that liberation. Examine Sankhya view about liberation that self is neither bound nor liberates nor transmigrates. This is last year question, 15 marker question. Yes? Sankhyan view about liberation that self neither bound nor liberates nor transmigrates. So basically question is on self only, Purush only. Purush, bondage and liberation. Isn't it? So first describe the Purush, briefly 3 lines,
immediately in the next paragraph comes that Purush is Nitya Mukta. Isn't it? It is beyond bondage, liberation, birth and death, space and time, merit and demerit. Then explain bondage, right? Wrongly identification. And then briefly explain liberation and make it very specifically clear that it is not the Purusha, it is the Sopadik Purusha, or that is the phenomenal ego, empirical ego that is trapped into the cycle of birth and death. Actually, Purush, when have the discriminative knowledge, then it gets liberation. In fact, it is already liberated. Right? So that has to be emphasized.
So no transmigration.
Not transmigrate. So it is not the Purush, no. Purush, actual Purush is beyond transmigration. Who is transmigrating? Sopadik Purush. That Purusha, the transcendental self, is beyond all these, activities. So Purush self is neither bound nor liberate. Jab bondage or liberation nahi hai, so there is no question of transmigration. Isn't it? So it is the phenomenal ego only. Yeah, criticism will also come, definite. In Samkhya, all questions will have criticism. Your question answer would be incomplete if you don't write criticism.
Second question. How is theory of causation central to the theory of reality in classical Indian tradition? Basically, this question is on whole of Indian
Philosophy.
But by one thing it is clear that everybody is explaining reality on the basis of theory of causation. Sankhyan, based on Satkaryavad and Parinamvad, they have explained reality. That is nothing but the Prakriti, isn't it? And this is how they have explained Prakriti Parinamvad. Similarly, other schools will also come. So this is comprising of all the schools. Question number 3. All the arguments given in favor of existence of Prakriti
are these adequate
in Sankhya's philosophy? Are the
arguments given
in favor of existence of Prakriti adequate
in Sankhya's philosophy? So we will not answer yes or no. Briefly we will describe what is Prakriti, right? Give a standard
proofs, 5 proofs. Can you recall those 5 proofs? Fast revise.
Vedanam Parimanan, Samanvayat, Karyatah Pravartesha, Karan Kare, Vibhagat, different.
And 5th is
Avibhagat, Vaishva Rupesya.
नहीं याद हो रहा, वो 5 तो है जो अंदर लिखा हुआ है वो याद है, बस ठीक है, कोई टेंशन नहीं. And then write criticism also.
Question number 4.
Evaluate the relation, if any, between Prakriti and Purusha. Evaluate relation, if any,
between Prakriti and Purush. Answer we will be always be knowing. Your only the biggest problem is how to start. That will be the always problem if you don't revise number of times. Isn't it? Earlier I told
you all your questions on Sankhya will start with 1 paragraph. कोई भी question आए, just write those 3 lines. Sankhyan philosophy traces the whole course of world due to interplay of 2 ultimate, absolute, independent, supreme realities, that is Prakriti and Purusha.
Actually your answer, जो भी पूछ रहा है, is contained in these 3-4 lines. Because you
have said that these 2, Prakriti and Purusha, are absolute and independent realities. And absolute and independent realities just can't have any relations, come what may. Now you will try a lot to establish relation between them, but you will always fail. How? You can explain. First paragraph, second paragraph, briefly describe Prakriti and Purusha. In one paragraph only. Prakriti is this, the major points. Prakriti is absolute, eternal, one, unintelligent, and ever active. However, Purusha is pure consciousness or intelligent, inactive, and many, though both are absolute. Isn't it? They explain creation due to the conjugation or the contact between Prakriti and Purusha. Samkhya Avastha get disturbed, and here Prakriti evolves. And this is how we have the world of creation. However, this creation is subjected to certain criticism, and they fail to establish any relation. How? First we say no real contact. Then they try to establish a relation through proximity of contact. Then semblance of contact. And all these, whatever stand you take, have certain problem. Hence, we cannot establish any relation because you have already created major blunder of considering these two as absolute and independent realities, that too fundamentally opposite nature. Is that fine?
Question number 5. Explain the possibility of
Jivan Mukti. Critically compare it with the yoga account of Kevalya. Explain the possibility of Jivan Mukti. I think we have discussed Jivan Mukti, right? And the second part, let us see what yoga school gives, a slightly different view as compared to Samkhya. We will see that. Question number 6. How Samkhya theory of causation is different from that of Nyaya theory of causation. Nyaya theory we have not discussed. What is this Samkhya theory of causation? Satkaryavad, within Satkaryavad, Parinamvad. Obviously, Nyaya theory of causation would be Asatkaryavad, right? So this is how they are trying to make a difference. We will see later on.
Sir, in the first, fifth question, how do we identify that? In which context it is given?
जो लिखा है ना, explain possibility of Jivan Mukti and then critically compare it with the yoga account of Kevalya.
Sir, Jainism में भी अभी
ठीक है, एक एक लाइन लिख देंगे, right? No issues. लेकिन जब योग स्कूल के साथ कंपैरिजन करा रहा है तो obviously it will be Sankhya only. Once we will discuss yoga, then there won't be any confusion. Question number 7. Examine Sankhya's arguments for Bahu Purushvad. They have written in bracket plurality of Purusha. Again direct question. What is Purusha? Briefly say 5 proofs for the Purusha and elaborate on those arguments regarding plurality of Purusha. Make a comparative study with the monads of Ganesh, Jiva of Janas, self of Ramanuja, right? And then criticize also. Don't forget to criticize. Question number 8. Does the effect pre-exist in the cause? Again, with this respect, we have 2 broad answers in Indian School of Philosophy. One says yes, that is Satkaryavad. One says no, that is Asatkaryavad. So that table we will be explaining that. Question number 9. Compare Aristotle's view regarding causation with that of Sankhya school's view of causation. Of course, we have done Aristotle, that is Western philosopher. We have done Sankhya school causation, that is Prakriti Parinamvad of the Satkaryavad. Right? Just remember, whenever we will be taking Aristotle in Western, you will find that it is exactly similar to what already we have discussed in Samkhya. So there, while discussing Aristotle, I'll ask you that this Aristotle can be compared with which Indian school of philosopher? You should be able to recall that this is nothing but Samkhya. Right? Question number 10. Explain the Sankhyan doctrine of three gunas. Doctrine of three gunas. Basically, by asking doctrine of three gunas, they are asking Prakriti. But their concept of three gunas, we will be elaborating. So, what is Prakriti? Then explain three gunas, elaborate them. Because question is specifically demanding three gunas. So, Sat, Raj, Tama. Then, obviously, you have to talk when these three gunas are held in a state of equilibrium. That is Samyavastha. This is the true nature of Prakriti. Right? And a state of equilibrium means Pralayavastha, homogeneous changes. That is, gunas are not fighting with each other. Sat changes into Sat, Raj into Raj, Tam into Tam. Gunas get disturbed when there is contact or conjugation with the Purusha. Why there is conjugation? Darshanartham and Kevalartham. And this is where Prakriti get disturbed. Three gunas get disturbed and they start evolving. Gunakshoba. And talk about evolutes, 23. All these 23 evolutes are nothing but these three gunas only. Isn't it? First is Mahasa. There is a predominance of Sattva. Isn't it? ये तीन गुणी तो है ही. And then talk about briefly about the existence, proof for the existence of Prakriti and give some criticism also. Critically discuss the Sankhyan theory of causation. Sankhyan theory of causation, that is nothing but again question that repetition. Prakriti Parinamvad. Basically they are asking Sarga, theory of creation, or they are asking role of Prakriti and Purusha in the creation. Second thing, they are demanding to have a comparative study with the Asatkaryavad. Which and when we will see, you can make a comparative study with the Asatkaryavad also. Question number 12. Sankhyan conception of Purusha. Direct question. What is Purush? Proof for the existence, plurality of Purush, their role, that is important, and criticism. Question number 13. Sankhyan doctrine of liberation. Of course, first you need to talk about self, bondage, and liberation. This is what we had discussed today. And you will make a comparison with the yoga school also. Do remember, this is what we will be discussing today. Question number 14. Sankhyan theory of evolution of Prakriti. Now specifically they are asking evolution, that is nothing but Samyavastha, Pralayavastha, homogeneous changes, conjugation, Vishamavastha, 23 products, Satkaryavad, Prakriti Parinam, and their criticism. Right? Question number 15. Evaluate the Sankhyan justification for their theory of Purusha. What is their justification? Proofs only. Proof for the existence of Purush and proofs for the plurality of Purush. Don't separate them and don't forget them. And criticism also. Because whatever justification they are giving is not justifiable. It is criticized on these grounds. Yeah.
The question number 11, critically discuss the Sankhyan theory of causation. So we have to discuss Prakriti Parinamvad only.
Yeah, Satkaryavad, Prakriti Parinamvad.
And make a comparative study with Asatkaryavad.
Yeah, that will make it critical. True? Yeah.
Question number 2 is the theory of causation is central to Indian classical medical.
Question number?
Question number 2, sir. How the theory of causation is central to the theory of causation. So about only Sankhya school or
Why Samkhya when they are asking theory of reality in classical Indian tradition?
so all other
Yeah, of
schools?
course, I told you.
We have to balance theory of skill.
Automatically balance. Once you will have 6 theories, so you will understand. Now let us take another school.
That is yoga school. A separate school.
Right? Samkhya school, yoga school, these are 2 separate schools. However, yoga school accepts all the metaphysics as given by Samkhya school.
Right. Yoga school is accepting the metaphysical infrastructure as given by Samkhya school. Only few differences are there.
Rest of the things are
Same. That is Prakriti Purush. What is Prakriti? What is Purush? Why they conjugate? How conjugation occurs? After conjugation, what happens? These are the products. Liberation, discriminative knowledge. All that thing will come with few differences.
That is, in Samkhya and in yoga,
There are two differences.
that is, Samkhya school is atheist.
But we will see that yoga school is theist. Yoga school believes in the existence of
God.
God. At the same time, we will see that this God is doing nothing. But still
They
they
believe in the existence of God. Throughout our discussion,
we won't be referring of God except at one place, and that too with a passing reference. What exactly
this God is
doing, it is like a kind of mystery.
but still they are theist school.
So this one difference comes. Samkhya school has given a theory how this creation occurred, Prakriti, Purush, their conjugation, evolution, Parinamvad, Satkaryavad, all that theoretical system have been given by the Samkhya school.
However,
Yoga school
will make it
practical aspect of the theory as given by Samkhya school. Samkhya school, as far as the path for liberation, they have just laid down reasoning. You just have to reason out. This reasoning is too theoretical. Yoga school will again
make it practical, and they will give an elaborate explanation.
on the meditation. There are certain limbs of meditation, certain paths, certain do's and don'ts, certain steps, certain stages, certain preconditions. Right? Meditation can be done only at particular moments. Which are those particular moments? It is not like that anybody at any point of time can start concentrating. No, you won't be able to concentrate. All those minute things have been clearly laid down by this yoga school. Right? Some differences are like,
In Samkhya,
what was the first product? Mahat. And from Mahat what comes out? Ahankar. And Ahankar, that Sattvic Ahankar, it leads to Ekadas Indriya. That is Man plus 10 those things. 5 sensory and 5 motor organs. However, Yoga school says that the first product is not Mahat. First product according to Yoga school is Chitta. First product according to yoga school is the chitta. Now what is this chitta? Consciousness to product हो ही नहीं सकता. Consciousness cannot be the product. Can consciousness be product? Can conscious be the product? No. I mean that is blunder. No. That means we have not understood Samkhya. Because consciousness तो कौन है? पुरुष. And that is neither cause nor effect. वो तो एक ultimate reality है. This chitta, is it intelligent? I think you missed yesterday's class. Right? I noticed who is missing and who is not. Right? हो जाता है. So chit is jad, not intelligent. This chitta is nothing but a combination of mahat, ahankar and man. This chitta is nothing but mahat plus ahankar plus man. These three internal organs of Sankhyan, which together in Sankhyan philosophy was known as antahkaran. Right? These three together in Sankhyan school are known as antahkaran. That antahkaran is here chitta. Don't get confused. Chit is nothing but mahat, that is intellect, buddhi, plus ahankar or ego, and man, that is internal sense organ. In तीनों को if you combine, then you have chitta, and this is the first product. Is that fine? Now, if chit is the first product, then you tell me Purush will get reflected where? In the chitta. Purush get reflected in chitta. In Samkhya, Purush got reflected where? In Mahata. But in Yoga school, Purush is reflected in the chitta. Is that fine? Now, this chitta, when it receives the reflection of Purusha, then it starts behaving like intelligent. Yeah, that's fine. It starts behaving as intelligent principle because it receives the light of Purusha. It receives the light of intelligence of Purusha. Why Purush get reflected in only in Chitta? Yeah. Why Purush get reflected in Chitta? Because it has predominance of Sattva Guna and it is near to Purusha. Chitta. The same reason. Why Purush get reflected in Mahat? Because of the predominance of Sattva Guna and it is near to the Purush. In the same way, Chitta has the predominance of Sattva Guna and Sattva Guna is illuminating. It has the power of illumination and because of the fact that Purusha is near, it receives the reflection of Purusha and it illuminates. Just as moon gets reflected in the waves. Just as moon gets reflected in the waves and waves become illuminating. Waves start having a kind of light and moon, because of beginningless ignorance, forgets its true nature and starts identifying himself with its reflection in the waves and starts saying that it is me, right? And it is me. Then with the movement of the waves, moon thinks that it is he who is moving. When waves rise, moon thinks it is me who is rising. Pleasure, contentment, satisfaction, bliss. And when waves fall, then moon thinks that it is me who is falling. Getting my point? And this water which receives the reflection of moon illuminating, and this water starts behaving as if they have their own light. It is as good as that this room has the light, and this room has become illuminating, and this room starts saying that it is my light. But this room is jad. Does this room has any consciousness? No, but it has light, and it starts saying that look, it is my light. And hence that ahankar. Isn't it? In the same way, it happens to wave, it happens to moon, and in the same way, we have what is happening with the chitta. And now chitta, my intellect, I start saying that it is my intelligence. As you said, chitta means intelligent. This is, I am not having discriminative knowledge. And hence I may now proper bondage. Is that fine? A slight difference is there between Samkhya and Yoga. And this is where this chitta will now behaving as if it is intelligent. Right? And this chitta will now become chitta of many things. Isn't it? Now this is behaving as if intelligent, तो भाई इसको कभी right knowledge होगी, कभी wrong knowledge होगी, isn't it? So, Chit starts identifying itself with objects and takes the form of that object. जैसे अब हमें हो रही है ना, sometimes we have wrong knowledge. Sometimes I see rope as snake. ये किसको knowledge हुई? Who is having such kind of knowledge? Sopadik Purush, isn't it? And Sopadik Purush here is like Chitta. क्योंकि Sopadik Purush का intellect कौन है? Chitta. Isn't it? So now, this is the way where we see modifications of the chitta. Modifications of chitta, which is known as chitta vritti. Which is known as chitta vritti. Vritti means modification. अब चित्त का modification होगा. Chit will have different forms. We will have different modifications of chitta. Like for example, it will have sometimes right cognition. Cognition means knowledge. Right cognition. Sometimes it has wrong cognition. Knowing rope as rope is right. Knowing rope as a snake is wrong. ये किसको हो रही knowledge अब? चित्त को हो रही, क्योंकि चित्त is like my intellect. Are you understanding? ये मेरी बुद्धि है ना, तो knowledge मेरे को कौन देता है? Who is giving me knowledge? बुद्धि, my intellect only. But intellect is jad. But it still is giving me knowledge because it receives the intelligence of पुरुष, उसकी लाइट रिसीव कर ले, और इसमें सत्व गुण ज्यादा है. It has the predominance of the sattva gun. Hence, it helps in that eliminating. So, Purush is Nityamukta. The same theory will be applicable here, whatever we have discussed in the Samkhya. Right? And now, my chit is sometimes right cognition, wrong cognition. Sometimes I have verbal cognition. That is abstract thing. Abstract thing, for example, hares, horn. Hare's horn, like खरगोश के सींग, horns of rabbit. ना कभी थे, ना है, ना कभी रहेंगे. It's simply like verbal cognition is like imagination. Verbal cognition is like something abstract. When I say, I have seen flying horses, is it wrong knowledge? Is it right? Then you say, it is your imagination only. So this is your verbal cognition. Sometimes we have absence of knowledge. Right? I'm not knowing. And somewhere, sometimes, I have memory of my knowledge, what I earlier had experienced. I recall. Because this is also function of chitta. It also recalls, no. These are the 5 chitta vritti which have been referred as pramad, viparyaya. This is vikalpa, absence, that is nidra, sleep, that is absence of knowledge, and memory, that is smriti. That is memory or smriti. Are you getting? What is the sequence? Sequence is, according to yoga school, the first product is chitta. Chitta has the predominance of sattva guna, and it is near Purusha. Hence it receives the reflection of Purusha. It starts behaving as illuminating, as if it is right now. The chit is jada. But since it receives the reflection, since it receives the light, it starts behaving as if it is intelligent. Because of the predominance of sattva guna and reflection of Purusha. So now my chitta will vary. Isn't it? Now I have the consciousness of right knowledge. We have pramad. We have viparya. We have vikalpa, nidra and smriti. Is that fine? Further, they say that this Purusha is subjected to kleshas also. This is subjected to klesha. That is, klesha is suffering. Klesha. Klesh means sufferings. And this Purusha is subjected to some kinds of sufferings, klesha. And these kleshas are ignorance, egoism, desire, aversion, and 5th is abhinivesha. Question? Question की गुंजाइश है नहीं?
Acting on?
हाँ?
Klesha is acting on Purush or Chit? On Purush.
Now Purush is saying that this is me.
Okay, that is.
I'll explain, right? No issue. Ignorance is avidya. Egoism, asmita. Desire, rag. Aversion, dvesha. And abhinivesha. Moment it wrongly identifies with itself, with its reflection in the chitta. That means it is afflicted with now ignorance, klesha. Right? And then what develops in me? Ahankar. That is sasmita, egoism, not attachment, egoism, mine, mera hai, it's me who is telling you, it's mine. The sense of I develops. That is egoism. Then rag, desire. Desire for what? Worldly things, which gives me pleasure. Because once upon a time I had experienced something which had given me pleasure. Now I want to repeat that. So I have desire for repeating that kind of pleasure. So now I have rag, dvesha, aversion. There were certain things which gave me pain. Hence I want to avoid that. Repulsion, frustration, rejection, dejection, and attracting towards those things which gives me pleasure. Because right now I am ignorant. Right?
And the fifth klesha is
Abhinivesha.
that is instinctive fear of death, that is clinging to life.
I am attached, I have clinged to these life, and there is instinctive fear of death, Abhinivesha. Getting my point? So now this Purusha, which Purush? Sopadik, that is empirical ego. चित्त तो एक प्रोडक्ट है उसका. सोपाधिक पुरुष का बुद्धि कौन है? चित्त है. मेरी बुद्धि कौन है? चित्त है. और इस वक्त आई एम कंसिडरिंग दैट चित्त एज इंटेलिजेंट, एंड दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम. द इंटेलेक्ट इज जड़. अभी तो ये सोपाधिक पुरुष है ना, और इस सोपाधिक पुरुष की बुद्धि है, अहंकार है, वो क्या है? वो चित्त है. Getting my point? So this Purusha is afflicted with avidya, egoism, desire, aversion, and abhinivesh, instinctive fear of death.
When I have these kaleshas, so that will make my chitta to modify.
Because I am subjected to these kinds of sufferings, no. And when I am kind of suffering, तो मैं ये करना चाहूँगा ना,
और ये अवॉइड
करना चाहूँगा, इससे भी भागूंगा, तो फिर मुझे कुछ करना होगा ना. एंड कुछ करना होगा मीन्स दैट विल बी मॉडिफिकेशन ऑफ माई चित्त,
and this is how
वी हैव चित्त वृत्ति. एंड नाउ दिस पुरुष इज नाउ प्रॉपर इन बॉन्डेज.
ignorance and egoism, they are not
Different. This is also part of ignorance only.
egoism. Its degree of ignorance is varying. The more deeper ignorance leads to egoism.
Ignorance is the base of all klesha. Obviously, because I am afflicted with the ignorance. So, सारे क्लेश एक्चुअल में कहाँ से निकल रहे? From where they are emerging? That is nothing but klesha. Isn't it?
And klesha,
That ignorance, when it becomes deeper,
deeper,
then egoism. And out of ignorance, and out of these desire, rag, dvesh, my chitta, my intellect is varying, is attaching with the other things. And this is
how they say,
that there is modification of chitta, and
this is known as
चित्त वृत्ति. तो हमको जो भी हो रहा है अभी, वो क्या हो रहा है? चित्त वृत्ति हो रही है. इसको ऐसे भी ले लें. Getting my point?
now I want
This is yoga school stands for the liberation. Right? To get liberated, I need to find out the cause of bondage. And what is the cause of bondage? Ignorance. Isn't it? So I need to remove ignorance. And ignorance will be removed by right knowledge. But this chit is not being controlled. इसका क्या करूँ यार? Because chit is, it is deviating. It is wavy. It's a wavy nature. Isn't it? I want to stop chitta vritti. I want to stop kaleshas, and that I can do only when I am able to control my chitta. Right? And to control a chitta, I have to meditate. Or you can say, chitta can be controlled only when, your mind can be controlled only when you have healthy body. Because if you are afflicted with certain disease, if you are afflicted with certain illness, then will you be having healthy mind? Isn't it?
so this is where
Yoga school stands for a spiritual effort to control.
body, mind and senses, right? And this is what we have. Yoga stands for control of body, mind and senses, so that
I can stop chitta vritti. Right? And thereby kleshas will be going. So yoga stands for
what?
cessation of suffering and thereby cessation of.
chitta-vritti. So yoga means cessation of chitta-vritti, which is known as
chitta-vritti nirodha. This is known as chitta-vritti nirodha, cessation of chitta-vritti. And for the cessation of chitta-vritti, they have laid down a path, right? And
that path is known as eightfold path, that is Ashtanga Yoga.
Eight limbs, 8 steps, eightfold path of discipline, so that you can control your body, mind and senses, and thereby you can stop chitta-vritti, and thereby you can achieve chitta-vritti nirodha. So the aim of yoga school is cessation of chitta-vritti. That is, aim of yoga school is chitta-vritti nirodha. And what is the means? Ashtanga yoga. So that is also yoga. So yoga is what means as well as end. Isn't it? Yoga means, yoga has double meaning. Yoga is means as well as end. Means, as a means, it will lay down certain path to control chitta. And by following that path, that is yoga, you have to do yoga. And by doing yoga, I will be able to stop chitta-vritti. So this is the means as well as the end. Is that fine?
So this is how we have
Ashtanga Yoga. 8 limbs. And these limbs are, first is Yam. Yam, that is abstention. Abstention, that is avoidance. Avoidance of what? Avoidance of violence, avoidance of stealing, avoidance of accumulation, or vice versa. You can say that Yam means observance of 5 principles, that is ahimsa, satya, asya, aparigraha and brahmacharya. Pehle bhaiya wo karo. Samkhya didn't tell us. Samkhya just have given out that you just reason out. But that is too theoretical. What exactly I have to do in reasoning? At what time? Who can do? And before doing reasoning, before that, do I need to do something? So this is how yoga school have given practical shape to that theory. And hence they say, first step is Yam, that is avoidance or following 5 principles. Second is Niyam. Second is Niyam, that is self-culture.
Niyam is self-culture. Yeah, self-culture.
That involves purification, external purification and internal purification. External purification means you do your daily work. Internal purification means clean jealousy, greed, have contentment, have devotion to God. Isn't it? Study, have that kind of, right? So that will be resulting in internal purification, and your daily work, cleanliness will result into external purification. So Yam, Niyam.
Third, Asan.
That is a comfortable sitting posture so that you can concentrate. Fourth, Pranayama. Pran means breath. So pranayama, it involves control of breath. It's an art of inhaling, retention and exhaling. You should first develop the art of controlling breath, then only we can move towards some higher stage. It is very beneficial for health, but it should be performed under expert guidance.
यही कह रहे हैं बीच में.
It's not advice. Right, only they are saying. Right, so pranayama, yam, niyam, asan, pranayama. And
Then you have fifth limb, that is pratyahar.
That is pratyahar. And what is that pratyahar? Pratyahar means controlling my senses or detaching from my external nature. My senses are attached with the external world. Detach it. Are you getting? मेरा जो बाह्य करण है, my external nature, it should be cut down. Right? And the moment I detach myself from the external image, I become, मेरा जो बाह्य करण है उसको मैंने detach किया, and moment I do detaching, I become internal oriented, क्योंकि दो ही तो world है, external world और internal world. My senses are attached with the external world. That is not helping me to concentrate. Isn't it? That is not helping me to concentrate. Hence, ये जो attachment है, इसको detach करो यार सबसे पहले.
Fine. This is where I have pratyahar, and I instantly become internal oriented. Sixth step is dharan.
Sixth step is dharan. And dharan is that I am trying to fix my mind on some object of meditation. I am trying. That object of meditation could be anything. It could be my tip of my nose. It could be midpoint of my eyebrows. It could be this pen. I am trying to fix up. Right? It's like a practicing. Because there are so many diversions. I am not tuned. This is an art. We are learning the art of controlling chitta.
Until and unless this chit is controlled, then how can I get right knowledge?
Because it is the chit only that will give me right knowledge. Yesterday we have discussed that Purusha, while enjoying Prakriti, will seek liberation. That enjoyment is through only Chitta. अब ये चित्त को कंट्रोल में करेगा पुरुष. This is what the enjoyment of Prakriti is. And Prakriti wants to be seen, wants to be enjoyed. Prakriti wants you get liberation. You should. Hence, Prakriti evolving. We have discussed one proof for the Prakriti, that is teleological. Prakriti stands for serving the purpose of Purusha. Is that fine? So, this is where. लेकिन इस चित्त control में नहीं यार. Because we have chittavritti. Are you getting? That chitta can be controlled. Control of mind, senses, body. So physical exercise भी है इसमें. This Ashtanga Yoga will have physical exercises because your body needs to be very healthy. It involves psychological exercise also. Pratyahar, psychological exercise. It will involve ethical exercise also. It involves ethical action also. Isn't it? But this is not my objective. Is it? My objective is liberation. That is Chitta Vritti Nirodha. So this is only means. So what we are discussing, Ashtanga Yoga, you should remember that this is not merely psychophysical exercise. It is a spiritual exercise also for some spiritual aim. That is liberation. That is Kevalya Gyan. That is discriminative knowledge. Moment a Purusha gets knowledge, moment moon gets knowledge, what it will say? It's not me. Moment Purush gets knowledge, it will immediately say, oh bhai, Prakriti se mera ko lene dena nahi. I'm just separate. I'm not this. And hence this is where discriminative knowledge. And Purush gets liberation, though it is already liberated. I should confuse you in between. Isn't it? So, dharan, I'm trying to fix up my mind, but I get deviated. No problem. You have to practice again and again. A stage will come when that is dhyan. And this dhyan is contemplation without any break. This is contemplation without any break. Isn't it? It is a continuous flow of concentration. In this stage, dhyan, there are only two things: object of meditation and meditator. It's me and only tip of my nose, because externalness I have already detached. Here I am practicing, and in dhyan, there are only two things: meditator and the object of meditation, me and this dhyan. And this is contemplation without any break. If of course some break is there, then you have not reached to dhyan. Then you what? Speakers were in mood to take break on the 26th January, right? But we won't let it liberate. But this speaker must have spoiled the online classes, right? We have also online classes, so I think they must be having some trouble right now. Anyway, so yam, niyam, asan, pranam, pratyahar, dharan and dhyan. Dhyan is contemplation without any break. Only two things: meditator and the object of meditation. When this goes on, we reach to the last step, final step, and that we reach to the samadhi. We reach to the samadhi. This samadhi is the climax of Ashtanga Yoga. This is the final step. This is the final limb. And once we reach to the samadhi, then those two things are also vanished. Both have fused together. There is no dualism. There is no meditator and the object of meditation. Both have become like one. And once this happens, then your chitta is under structure, under your control, and now it won't modify, and chitta vritti fall on the ground. There is arrest of chitta vritti, and this is where chitta vritti nirodha is achieved, and this is what Kevalya Jnana. Getting my point? However, yoga school says that this is very simplified version. Actually, this samadhi is itself of two types. First is sampragyata. It is sampragyata. And second is asampragyata. Sampragyata and asampragyata. Rather than calling them as two types of samadhi, it is more desirable to call initial stage and higher stage within samadhi. Though samadhi is the final step, final limbo, but within this we see two stages. One is sampragyata. In sampragyata, though both have fused together, but the latent impression of the object of meditation remains. Object nahi rehta hai. There is no object, but its latent impression remains. You can say consciousness of that object remains. You can say that fire is there, fire is extinguished, but warmth remains. I hope it is clear. So that has gone. Me and this have fused together, but that latent impression remains. So that latent impression is also to be removed, right? So we have Sampragyata. In Sampragyata, we do this Sampragyata Samadhi with the help of some support. That is Alamban. I have to utilize Chitta. अभी चित्त को यूटिलाइज करना है. चित्त is the supporting, right? Because that ultimate final thing I have not achieved. This is Sampragyata is itself of different stages. ये भी different stages हैं इसमें. That is, first is Savitarka. Savitarka. In this Savitarka, first of all, I meditate on gross object. Because everything is made up of 5 subtle things, and 5 subtle things combine and they give rise to 5 gross. तो पहले gross पे focus करूँगा. Right? I will focus on this gross. Like for example, cow, dog, both have fused together. But the word cow, it is attached with the memory elements. I am aware what the cow is. Gross object नहीं है, because object तो दोनों both have fused together. But my memory remains attached. So this I am focusing, meditating. This is known as Savitarka. And when this memory part is also eliminated, then there is Savitar. Savitarka. Nirvitarka. Savitarka and Nirvitarka. Right? Then, after concentrating, meditating on the gross, those gross things, I come to now more subtle things. And hence, this subtle thing is like Savichar. Right? Now, that the thing on which I am focusing, that cow, that memory element has gone. Now I am focusing on its subtle aspect. Right? And the subtle aspect is within space and time. At this stage, I reach to the next stage, that is Nirvichar, and even this space and time is gone. Right? This stage, fourth step, is beyond space and time. I first focused on gross, memory elements were attached, then they were removed, then I was focusing on subtle things, and subtle things on which I was focusing was within space and time. Then that space and time has also gone. Right? And then I reach to the where? Fifth step. I reach to fifth step, that is a sattvic element of chitta. Subtle hota ja raha hu main. I am reaching more and more subtle, and this step is known as Ananda. That is, here chitta becomes aware of its own awareness. अब तो object of meditation तो खत्म, isn't it? देखिए basically क्या हो रहा है. We can do only theoretical. Actually this is practice, right? Those who do only they can know it. पहले gross पे I am focusing. It is something like crudely, simply put, I am focusing on my nose. Then I get into the subtle aspect. Right? Then I focus on the more subtle things. Of course, I will focus on now Man, which is more subtle than this human breath. फिर मन से I will go to more subtle thing, and the most subtle thing is ego, because ultimately I have to destroy ego only, because ego is the highest element of ignorance. Very good. If that is gone, ignorance is gone, and I will have automatically discriminative knowledge. Right? What I told you just now is too theoretical, too simplified. Actually, they are moving into these stages. One step is leading to the next step. So we reach to Sananda. We reach to Chitta, and who is becoming aware of its awareness. ये कौन meditate कर रहा है, ये उसी पे awareness आ गई. And Chit has the predominance of Sattva Gun, and Sattva Gun give rise to illumination and pleasure, bliss, and hence it has been referred as Ananda. Right? And now I reach to sixth step, where I reach Sa Asmita. And what was Asmita? Ego. And now I start focusing on Sa Asmita, that is ego, Ahankar. I reach to the most subtlest part. Right? And after this stage, when ego is removed, when ego Ahankar is also gone, then you reach to the seventh step, and that is Asamya Pragyata. Right? And these are the 7 stages of Samadhi. 7 stages of Samadhi in standard textbooks. I think only 2 stages are there, Samya Pragyata and Asamya Pragyata, sometimes referred as Nirvikalpa and Savikalpa. Right? But I think twice they have asked different stages of Samadhi. Right? And we have now actually 7 stages. It is only in the 7th stage, that is Asamya Pragyata, Samadhi, then all Chittavrittis are finally gone. Chittavrittis have stopped earlier also. But now this is where one gets Kevalya Jnana, one gets discriminative knowledge, and one receives knowledge which is pure, perfect, complete. It is a state of ecstasy. It is a mystic state. The person experiences something which he can't describe in his finite language and speech and thought. Right? At this stage, he attains some supernatural magical powers also, super healing powers. But the yogi is not interested into that. He is very much interested only in having liberation, that is, that discriminative knowledge. And the moment it has discriminative knowledge, then it will have no attachment with the Prakriti. All Chittavrittis fall on the ground, and Purusha regains its true nature, free from all kinds of attachment with the Prakriti. And this is what Kevalya Jnana is. Is that fine? So this is what the 7th step, 7th stage, Asamya Pragyata. These 7 stages are, right? Savitarka, Nirvitarka, Savichar, Nirvichar, Ananda, Sasmita, and finally we have Asamya Pragyata. These are the 7 stages. But the question arises that at what point or who can and in what state I can perform this Ashtanga Yoga? Is it like that at any point of time, at any place I can do Ashtanga Yoga? Of course, logically, no. Isn't it? Because I have different mental levels, no. So at which mental level Ashtanga Yoga will be the most conducive? Right? Brahma Muhurat. Why? Why Brahma Muhurat? Yes, you are right. Why positive energy you have?
Mind clear होगा.
No Rajgun, no Tamgun, but you will not say there is predominance of Satguru. सीधे से बोल दो. Right. So, Yoga school says that there are various chitta bhumi. That is, there are different mental levels. There are different mental levels. First mental level is Shipta. It is predominated by Tamaguna. Sorry. It is predominated by Rajaguna. Hence, it is restless. I have different mental states. In some of the mental states, Rajaguna is predominating. And Rajaguna was the principle of motion, energy. And when it high, obviously I will become very energetic, hyper, and hence restless. Tell me, in this condition, are you able to concentrate? That is contradictory, because I am restless. Second is Muddha. It is dominated by Tamaguna, and hence it is lethargic. It is like torpid. So I am dominated by Tamaguna, and I start meditating. What will happen? सुबह उठूंगा सीधे. After what will happen? सुबह उठूंगा सीधे. After having refreshing sleep 8-10 घंटे की हाँ यार हो गया meditation. Isn't it? Because I started meditation at the mental level where I was dominated by Tamaguna, and Tamaguna causes lethargy, sleep, inactive, inertia. So that is not conducive for meditation. You can't focus. Focus करोगे नींद आ जाएगी. Third, Vikshipta. Vikshipta. Vikshipta, this mental level is dominated by Sattva Guna. It is dominated by Sattva Guna. However, at times there is Rajaguna also asserts. Though it is dominated by Sattva Guna, but at times Rajaguna also dominates. Moment Rajaguna dominates, what happens to? I will become
distracted. Hence Vikshipta means a distraction. सब कुछ ठीक चल रहा है, everything is fine, I am able to focus, concentrate. All of a sudden
Rajaguna comes and I got distracted. Isn't it? This is what happens to our life also. Preparation. Isn't it? 7 days, Zabardast. 8 घंटे, 10 घंटे.
And then all of a sudden some distraction is bound to come. Why gaya? Distracted. And hence there is a gap then. 8 days, 10 days, 15 days, sometimes 2 months. Isn't it? फिर कहीं से इंजेक्शन लगेगा. And then again come back to, preparation to बस अब तोड़ दूंगा देखना. So this is Vikshipta, distraction. Right? Fifth step.
Fourth is Ekagra. And fifth is Niruddha. Ekagra means concentration and Niruddha means cessation. It is predominated, out and out predominated by Sattva Guna. Ekagra and Niruddha, no distraction. And hence, yoga is possible in only 2 chitta bhumi. These are Ekagra and Niruddha. In any of these 3, Shipta, Muddha, Vikshipta, yoga is not possible. So, only Ekagra and Niruddha are conducive for yoga. Broadly, Ekagra has been compared with the
Samkhya
and Niruddha has been compared
with the Asamkhya.
because in Niruddha there is a complete cessation. All the chitta vrittis fall on the ground.
Is that fine? So some terminologies we have discussed. Right. First thing which we have discussed, that yoga school is based on the metaphysical infrastructure given by Samkhya. Only few different, not prominent one. Done. So first term which we come across in yoga school is chitta. This chitta is subject to chitta vritti. These chitta vrittis are produced by Kalesha. Right. Then we need to control the chitta. For this, they have laid down Ashtanga Yoga. And this yoga is not possible in any of the states, but only two chitta bhumi, that is Ekagra and Nil. अब फिर से आ जाए, चित्त वृत्ति is how many types? These are. सीधे सीधे से करेंगे, टर्म्स बाद में याद करेंगे. राइट नॉलेज, रॉन्ग नॉलेज, इमेजिनरी नॉलेज, एब्सेंस ऑफ नॉलेज, रिकॉल ऑफ नॉलेज. ये 5 ही तरह की हो सकती है, 30 तरह की वो भी नहीं कर सकते. राइट. चित्त वृत्ति, क्लेशास, suffering, biggest suffering is ignorance. It is the base of all suffering. सारा झगड़े की जड़ी है ignorance. Hence egoism, hence attachment, hence repulsion. जो कष्ट देगा उससे तो भागूंगा यार. Right. And the biggest pain and biggest suffering in our all life is none other than instinctive fear of death. Abhinivesh. So chitta. Then we have chitta vrittis, then klesha, right? And hence yoga school laid down a spiritual path, a spiritual discipline to control body, mind and senses. And this is Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga means 8. Don't get confused with the Ashtangic mark. Right? Once I had given one question in my test series, Ashtangic mark and Ashtanga Yoga. Some my dear friend have cut Ashtangic mark and they have said Ashtanga Yoga. Right, so exam pressure hota hai. Sometimes pressure is so high and you are fixed kya Ashtanga Yoga aata hai generally. Right, so you get tuned with that. So you can have comparative study with the Ashtangic mark and Ashtanga Yoga. So this eightfold path of discipline is Yam, physical action, ethical practice, Niyam, Asan, Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam. Right, then we have Pratyaha, detaching. As long as you are attached, how you will be able to concentrate? Main aim is to concentrate and to stop these chitta vrittis, so that I can utilize the chitta to have discriminative knowledge. In Samkhya and Yoga, again and again we are using discriminative knowledge because by this time you must have understood. It's a technical term. We can't say simply right knowledge. If you say discriminative knowledge, that is very technical and very appropriate. Though you can say right knowledge also. Isn't it? So Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyaha, Dharan, trying to focus. Then complete focus. This is Dhyan. Dhyan will take you to the Samadhi, no problem. Once you do Dhyan, फिर तो ये अपने आप ही चलेगा. Isn't it? And you reach to this Samadhi. Samadhi is the final limb, climax of all limbs. These are also known as 8 limbs of yoga school. Ashtanga Yoga. Right? And Samadhi, to be more specific and precise, this school says that Samadhi is itself of 2 types of, or you can say initial and final stage. Samya Pragyata and Asamya Pragyata. Samya Pragyata is itself of 6 stages. एक स्टेज दूसरे स्टेज को लीड करेगी. One stage will lead to the next stage. This is Savitarka, Nirvitarka, Savichar,
निर्विचार से आनंद, आनंद के स्टेट पे पहुंचे, राइट, एंड देन सास्मित, ईगो पे पहुंचना है, ईगो को डिसॉल्व करना है, प्रलय अवस्था, प्रलय किसका, प्रलय मतलब चूर चूर, डिसॉल्व, डिसोल्यूशन, किसका करूं डिसोल्यूशन, ईगो का, अहंकार चूर चूर हो गया टाइप से, isn't it? Ego is dissolved, there is no me, mine, I, right, and this is where from, Sasmit you reach to the Asama Prakyata. Yoga is possible only two Chitta Bhumis, that is Ekagra and Nirvana. This is yoga. Right, and this is where again and again question comes that Ashtanga Yoga is not merely psychophysical exercise, isn't it? It is not merely psychophysical exercise. It is also spiritual exercise to have spiritual aim, because ultimate aim is that Chittavritti Nirodha, that is discriminative knowledge. Is that fine? So this yoga skill is also over. Throughout the discussion, we have not referred God to I, except at one place. एक जगह है God. हाँ, कहाँ पे? कहाँ आया God? नियम में आया. Self culture, internal purification and external purification. External purification is do your daily work. Internal purification, leave, remove jealousy, greed and all that. Then have contentment, isn't it? Study and have devotion to God. That will help you in concentrating. और इससे ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं करेगा. So whatever be their concept of God, one thing is clear, that it is not playing any major role in their story. Hence, whatever concept they give, that concept would be highly criticized. क्योंकि जो कुछ कर ही नहीं रहा तो फिर बोलेंगे नहीं कर रहा, कर क्या रहा है यार, ये तो बता. Is that fine? ठीक है, चलिए यार, wind up here. We will wind up bit early today. अभी हुआ नहीं है. Why you have not responding? चलिए, okay then. Tomorrow we will continue. Of course, yoga school is over. Again we will recap, refresh, and will do questions, and time will be left, and I will be moving to my next school. Yeah.
What is the difference between Asmita and Anand?
Huh?
Asmita and Anand.
It's an ahankar only.
Both are.
I am focusing. This is the Asmita. I am focusing on ego. But Asmita and ahankar are the same thing, no? Egoism and Asmita. There is more predominant of your ignorance. Isn't it? So it's not needed because they are also accepting Prakriti. Yes. We have made only differences. Rest of the thing is same. Everything is same. Only few differences, those differences which we have taken 3-4 points. From there only they are different. Huh? Reasoning, God, their first product is Mahat, there is Chitta. Yeah, there is theory, this is practice, this is all. Nothing, there is no need. Chaliye, I'll stop here. Tomorrow we'll continue same time. Thank you. ये जो है ये राज्य समूह से ज्यादा लोगों ने हाँ
But Achik is that generate everything. They are not going to ignore them. Achik है तो Achik ही नहीं. मैं तो जड़ ही हूँ. सारे ही वो है, लेकिन वो बेसिकली एक बार ऊपर का कंटेक्स्ट देखें तो एक ही अगली स्टेप है ना, अगले basically in the pit of flow, I must have said something like that. Chittavritis are not there. Yeah. तो जीवन विधेय मुक्ति बिलीव करते हैं, मुक्ति विधेय मुक्ति तो भाई वो तो जब तक कि वो रहे लगे तो इसलिए जो पास्ट मोमेंट है वो तो उसका नहीं होता, वो आपको दे बिलीव जीवन मुक्ति
reflection. So that's what we are calling here the intelligence of mind.
What is like acting as intelligence?
That's what.
And reflection is acting as purush.
Reflection is acting as purush. So proper purush is that ignorance of the moon, or is it the reflection there? Reflection. So there is nothing concerned with proper purush, that ignorance of the moon.
That is
Yes, but again we are saying that there is ignorance. We are saying that moon is seeing itself as a reflection. Why does it get confused with the reflection?
because it is afflicted with ignorance.
First it is, that's what true. When we define that one, we say that it is pure knowledge and it is perfect. Then why does it see the reflection and ignorance? And that's what I got confused with this reflection part.
Forget about that.
So this whatever is
Yes.
reflection is itself.
Right now this is the one who is behaving as it. Once you have the knowledge, then you will automatically will be knowing where is the problem. Because I have forgotten with my identified with my reflection. यहाँ पे दो चीजें हैं, मैं और मेरा रिफ्लेक्शन. जनरल में दो काम, जनरल में तो खुद ही वो तो खुद ही है पॉजिटिव में क्यों नहीं, तो मैं किसको डिस्क्रिमिनेटिव होना चाहिए? डिस्क्रिमिनेटिव के लिए तो दो चीज होनी चाहिए, तो जनरल में दो चीजें काम और कहीं नहीं. आपको बताने की जरूरत है, वो आप लिख चुके हैं, कहीं कंफ्यूजन डिस्क्रिमिनेटिव नॉलेज लिख देंगे, राइट ना लिख सकते हैं, बात. So there every object has every creation itself, whatever purpose is there, has three. Every object we visualize has all the three ones. It's different in the quantity, but all three exist. So that's why we are reasoning that heavenly, whatever heaven or heaven also has also three parts. So it's not. चीजें कई बार हो जाती है, वो समझाने के लिए बतानी होती है. आप जब नोट्स पढ़ोगे तो उसमें सारा क्लियरिटी, सारा टेक्निकलिटी सारा नहीं उसमें क्लास में
आज क्लास में
कुछ मिस नहीं हुआ है, मेंटल ब्लॉक बना लोगे तो उसका कोई इलाज
नहीं
नहीं।
नहीं मैंने वो तो कवर कर दिया सर।
नहीं कवर क्या करा, कवर कुछ करा ही नहीं, था ही नहीं कवर करने की। नहीं सोपाधिक पुरुष तो वो जो आप बोल रहे हैं वही है, रिफ्लेक्टेड पार्ट हो, आप इग्नोरेंट सोल हो, बस ये सोपाधिक है। आप जो इग्नोरेंट सोल है वो सोपाधिक पुरुष है। आप सोपाधिक को छोड़ो, आप तो इग्नोरेंट सोल बोलो कि इग्नोरेंट सोल, तो हम तो इग्नोरेंट ही सोल है, रियल सोल थोड़ी आ गए। रियल सोल साइकिल ऑफ बर्थ एंड डेथ में नहीं आता है, ये उसका रिफ्लेक्शन वो साइकिल ऑफ बर्थ एंड डेथ में आता है। ठीक है ना, इसको और क्लेरिफाई करेंगे सीधे दूसरे स्कूल में जाकर, क्योंकि ये 100 में से 99 तक ठीक है, और एक जो प्रॉब्लम बच गया वो फिर वो सारा का सारा इशू वहीं आ गया।
सर अगर हमारे में रियल कुछ है ही नहीं, मतलब स्वाभाविक है अनरियल है, तो फिर हम टेंशन के लिए भी बैठे।
ये तो मतलब वही तो अटैचमेंट है ना, वही तो अटैचमेंट है, वही तो कह रहे हैं अवर्जन और ये सारा का सारा। बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हो कि मैं टेंशन क्यों ले, तो मतलब, लेकिन मेरे लेने से क्या होता है, मैं तो लेता हूँ। Hence we are attached with this world. तो क्योंकि राइट नॉलेज तो है ही नहीं।
वो तो ठीक है, मेरे को लिबरेशन चाहिए, लेकिन अगर मेरे अंदर कुछ रियल है ही नहीं,
ये आपको पता नहीं है ना,
ये तो कह रहे हैं कि जो हमारा
ये तो कह रहे हैं, लेकिन आपने मान थोड़ी दिया।
नहीं मैं इनकी इसलिए रहा हूँ, अगर मैं हार्डकोर ये हूँ,
हार्डकोर आप ये हो, नहीं, योग है, हम मान चुके हैं, लेकिन मानने के बाद भी मैं मान नहीं रहा हूँ ना।
इसमें तो मान रहा हूँ कि मैं रियल हुई नहीं, तो अगर मैं
अगर
real
ऐसा है, अगर रियल नॉलेज आ गई तो देन यू आर नॉट अटैच, फिर आप सुख दुख से इंसान से परे हो जाएंगे। अब आपको डिसाइड करना, आप उड़ चुके हो क्या? हाँ वो तो बात है, स्टिल अटैच्ड है, स्टिल अटैच्ड है। क्या कैसा सब्जेक्ट है यार, नंबर तो आएंगे नहीं यार, ये पूरे को पूरे लिख दूंगा यार, तो अटैचमेंट इज सही। अरे क्या आपके निष्काम कर्म है, तो पहुंच गया, अगर पहुंच गए तो लिबरेटेड हो, फिर जीवन मुक्त हो, फिर पोटेंशियल थोड़ी, वो तो कह रहे हैं। लेकिन अटैचमेंट और मेरे जो डिजायर्स हैं, क्रेविंग्स हैं, वो है मेरे, हम में, सब में है, इसलिए हम अटैच। मेरे मानने से क्या होता है, तो मान के बाद भी तो आप अटैच क्या? I don't say anything, don't whatever.
Going back to the same question.
हाँ.
Then again when you make liberation of the actual Purusha, he says that he realizes that he is just seeing his reflection also. Again you said that realization that
I said so many things, you got only one thing.
Properly Purush is that which is the reflection.
Yes.
But again you say that what the realization of Purusha also there is something. There is a
Do you remember that example when some colors were thrown on my image?
Okay.
Right.
Then you clean it and
That is not
another
clean.
example after the
Right. And then once you clean, and then you think, oh, I have again cleaned, but I was already clean.
So yes, removed for the moon, right? The Purusha.
It is not afflicted with ignorance.
That's what. But why